Hey everyone, it's Linda Medeiros, director with the Pampered Chef and host of What's Linda Cooking. Today, I'm doing a quick fish chowder. I don't know if you realize that, I know for me, I live in and I go to Market Basket a lot, and they have chowder fish for literally, it's $2.99 a pound. And this is like such an easy thing to make, quick, easy, and I think you're gonna absolutely love it. So let's do the potatoes first. I'm using some red potatoes because frankly, this is what I had in my pantry. So I'm gonna keep the skins on, and I'm going to just kind of cube them just like that, throw them in there. And I'm actually gonna cook these in the microwave, okay? Because it will, they'll get done pretty quickly in there. And then I will build the rest of my chowder in my Rockcrok as we go along, okay? I'm using my Santoku knife right here. Oh, and I got a little yuccas. Yuccas is a technical cooking term, remember, in my thing. So we're gonna cut that apart. And I don't know how much, it's just gonna be for Michael and I. So I might just do just the 2 potatoes and really load it up with lots of fish because I have about a pound of fish, and I will probably do a pound, maybe a half a pound of fish in this recipe. So it all depends on what I'm actually doing. So I think I've only got about this much. I think I'm gonna do one more, okay? What do you think? About one more should do it. And a lot of times I will make quahog or clam chowder, but I don't have a license this year, so I haven't gotten it yet. So I have no quahogs. And you don't think living in where I live that I'm gonna actually buy some quahogs from the store when I can go and get a license for probably $25 and go out a couple of times and get pretty much all the clams that I need, okay? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add some water to this, and then I'm gonna put it in the microwave with the cover and just let it cook for probably about 6 minutes or so, and then I'll come back to you. Okay, so I am back, and I gotta get my, I've gotta get my food chopper, because I am gonna chop up, and I've got my little ends here from my celery that I am saving. And y'all know I'm going to save that for stock. So I'm just going to kind of chop up my celery. I want the flavor of the celery, but not necessarily, I don't want to bite into celery. So I'm chopping this up really, really fine. And I am going to put that in the Rockcrok in just a second. I just happen to have a red onion, putting this into my stock area too. I just happen to have red onion, and normally I would use a white onion for this, but I've already got this one started, so I am just gonna chop that up. Hey, it'll give some nice color too. So just gonna chop that up, and I'm so used to using this food chopper because my kids always hated onions. So, and I think they still don't love onions, but I am going to kind of clean that off, and I'm going to move my camera over here so you see what's going on in my Rockcrok, okay? So let's move this out of the way, and I've got this preheated, and I love the flavor of bacon, but I didn't want to add any bacon in this right now. So I have my bacon fat. I save all of my bacon. Don't judge me. This is a no judge zone. And we are just going to put in some of this, kind of a lot of that bacon fat, because I want that flavor, but I also want to make a roux. So I am going to use a little bit of butter also, and I'm going to move this camera. Hopefully it won't make anybody seasick right there. And I'm going to put in all of these veggies that I just cut up. And we are just going to saute these until they're nice and soft, okay? And so I will come back in just a minute when that is all done. Let's kind of move this around a little bit. There's my, I don't know if you can see in there. There's a little bit of my bacon fat. And just save, you know, again, it's like free food. Why would I use oil when I have that? That's a good thing. So let's go on to the fish. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna put this back here. Here we go. So I got the fish, and you can see, $2.99 a pound, and it is just ends of fish. So I'm going to take these, and that's why they call it chowder fish, and this is actually going to dissolve in the chowder. Some of it is going to dissolve, some of it's going to stay in pieces. So, but I'm just going to, you know, kind of put it in big chunks here, okay? And just kind of, you know, oh, this is a big one. And this is why, see this big piece right here? This was called chowder fish. Now, a lot of times what I'll do is I'll take this and I will just put it in a baking dish. I usually put it in my cast iron, my enameled cast iron, and bake it with some crumbs on top. Because you know what? Most of the time, you're putting it in a dish anyways. And why spend upwards of, you know, it's usually when you, I think this might be enough for my husband and I. And you know what? The rest of this, I might, no, I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna just put it all in. Because I could do this and save it for another time, but I think I'm just gonna go ahead and put it all in. So a lot of times, you know, I'm just putting it in a dish anyways, and when it's all, you know, laying down in the dish, you don't know that that's a little bit of the skin, so I'm gonna put that aside and deal with that in a minute. So I just, you know, put the crumbs on it, and I have baked fish for a fraction of the cost of the, you know, getting a fillet. Because a fillet of cod, and most of this is cod and haddock and stuff like that, most of the time that is usually about $9 a pound, $9 a pound, where I got this for $2.99. So let's go back to this right here, and it's just going to saute it a little bit more, and that is almost where I want it to be. Maybe a couple more minutes, and I will come back when that is softened a little more. Okay, so this is pretty soft right now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab another knife, and I'm going to just put a little bit of butter in here. So I had a little bit of bacon fat, and yes, this is a rich chowder. I like a very thick chowder, and I like butter in it, and cream. So we are going to mix this up. Once this is melted, I am going to add a little bit of flour to make that roux. And I'm going to be cooking that down, okay? So we're going to cook this roux down for a little bit, okay? Just to get it. And I'm going to just start adding this just a little bit. And I might use all of the flour. So we're just going to kind of add that. And I want to cook it for a little bit. Okay, I'm going to add a little more. And I might not add the whole thing. Here we go. Just maybe, you see how it's thickening? And we're just cooking the flour. I'm going to put it all in. To get rid of some of that flour taste. And if I need to add more butter, I will. And in fact, I am going to add more butter at the end. Just to give it that nice glossiness to it. Okay. So we're just going to cook this for a little bit. And then I'm going to add a little bit of chicken stock. Now, if you have some, you know, clam stock and stuff, you can do that. Now, I only have a little bit left of my powder, so I'm going to be using that, but I'm going to use the potato liquid because that has been heated up. We're using it, so I'm just going to add that instead of throwing away that starchy water. I'm just going to add that to this, and we're going to, you know, kind of get out some of the lumps. You're going to see it thicken fairly quickly, and then I'm just going to add a little bit, the potatoes and the fish, and cook it a little bit longer. So hold on, this is almost done, and I will be back. So here we go. I'm gonna add, let's put this up a little bit. I'm gonna add this starchy cooking liquid to that. This is what I love about the batter bowl. I can make mashed potatoes in that if I wanted to. So we're gonna mix this up, and you're gonna see it getting thicker. And I might use a whisk, but at the same time, I'm gonna put in some of this, and I might end up adding a little more liquid to this. And I'm gonna add a little more liquid to it because I think it needs it. There we go. And that's gonna continue to thicken as I'm adding other things up, because the fish is going to be thickening it, the potatoes are gonna be thickening it, all of that, and then the cream that I'm gonna put in later is also gonna be thickening it. So we're gonna throw in that fish. Now this should cook very quickly because it's gonna be boiling, and you don't want to overcook the fish because it will disintegrate. The whole thing will disintegrate. So then I'm gonna add my potatoes. And I'm gonna save the container because you know what? My leftover chowder is gonna go in there because we're probably gonna have some leftovers. Add that. And let that cook for just a little bit. Just to heat up that, cook that fish, which is going to only take a minute or two. So I will be back. Okay, so this is literally starting to flake. So as you can see, this fish is pretty much done, okay? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add the cream. And I put a little bit of salt and pepper in here already, but I'm gonna season it up. I'm gonna add this whole thing because it wasn't a full. So I'm gonna add that. Now you can add milk, you can add, whatever you want, but we're just gonna do that. And I forgot to take out my dill because I actually like dill with this a lot. So we're just gonna mix this up, and then I'm just gonna heat it up to temperature, to get that cream not boiled. You don't want to boil the cream. You just want to kind of get it to temperature. And I'm going to test this a little bit just to see what it's tasting like, if we need some salt and pepper. Need some salt. And need some pepper. And then I'm going to add some dill, and I will show you what this looks like at the very end, because I'm also going to add a little more butter to the top because that's what I like. Okay. So it has come up to temperature, and I seasoned it with salt and pepper. I'm gonna add a little bit of our dill, just because I love the flavor of that. And then the last thing that I'm gonna add, I just love the glossiness and the richness of a little more butter at the end. Mix that in, and I'm gonna ladle it into bowls with some oyster crackers, and then this will be done. So this is my fish chowder. Really easy, just some onions, some bacon fat, or you can do bacon, and some celery, some fish, and you can see the fish in there, and the potatoes, finish it off with some cream. Easy, quick meal. This took me less than a half an hour to do. And I have tons of leftovers. So this is Linda Medeiros, director with the Pampered Chef and host of What's Linda Cooking. What are you cooking up tonight? I would love to hear. Shout it out below. But also, don't forget, share this video because sharing is caring. And I will see you later. Bye for now.